Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. This is going to be Major Changes number 58. And unfortunately, I was not able to get the entire video that I wanted to do today due to technical difficulties. I don't know why, ever since I did an update, Windows 10 update, when I try to transfer a video from my camera to my computer, it's taken forever. I have to go through a whole bunch of different steps when it was never like that. So I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm giving you a 16-minute video today. It's the best I could do for you guys. I don't want to miss my deadline for Saturday and all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, with all that being said, stay tuned and we will be back in a few minutes. This is Vinny Vid Production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For a 7% discount on your purchases, use code BNSF6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome graphics for your streets and roads on your model layout. Alright guys, I'm going to start at this end of the Wickenburg area, and I have the original buildings that I did on the bottom and the 3D prints that John Tanzillo did for me on the top. This is a block of 3 right here. And then we'll move on to this one, and this is a block of 5. And I think John did a really good job on that. That water tower will sit on top of that guy right there. Anyhow, this is the last part of it right here, and as you can see, all the buildings are pretty much the way I designed them, and it's pretty good for me just sending John some pictures and some sizes, and he did okay. Anyhow, let's move back down to here. And as you can see the difference in the depth, that means that these buildings are going to go further back, which means I can move my roads further that way and get more scenery between the road and the track. Anyhow, let's see what's next on the agenda. So stay tuned and we will be back shortly. Alright guys, now that you've seen the buildings that John Tanzillo has done for me, we're going to take the first set of buildings right here. Now, because we made this end shorter, we're going to have to adjust the sidewalks. Once I adjust the sidewalks, I can move the streets in and do the rest of the scenery in that area. Anyhow, when I do I want a long straight cut, I usually try and clamp it down just like I have it here. Now, this is not the usual place where I would do this, but I had to make up this little deal right here. Anyhow, it's just a couple little C-clamps, straight edge. I'm going to cut this down. This would be the front. I'm going to cut it down to 80 millimeters, and that'll be the same for the other 3 sidewalks that are involved in this area. Anyhow, we're just going to take my knife, and we're just going to commence. Now, when you do something like this happens to be a really thick piece of plastic. I think this is 40 thousandths. I'll let you know later. I'll actually measure it. But the reason why I went with a thicker one versus the other one that I used, this will give me kind of like a sidewalk right here. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and start cutting this. Light strokes at first. Each time you do it, just go a little heavier on your cut. We're also going to repaint these. I finally found a gray that I think will work. Which I really don't remember where I got this plastic from. I have a bunch of the 1mm stuff. Again, you just got to keep doing it because this is a thick piece of plastic. I need to keep going on it. I have a new blade in here. I believe it's new. Years ago. Anyhow, get this done. Like I said, we can start getting the roads and all the rest of this done. But start doing some other kind of scenery stuff. Make a few more passes on this. Should be able to do the bend and break. Once I get the cut, then we're going to go ahead and enhance all the scribe marks sections of concrete. Up this. I could find the correct lights. Seeing the ones 50th scale. Oh, anyhow, I think they were too big. I don't think they were 150th. That's a mistake. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off camera. Bring you back when we finish this cut. We'll be back shortly. Alright guys, now that I have cut it down, as you can see, I got a nice little sidewalk in front of the buildings here. And that's going to enable me to put some lighting and maybe some trees and stuff like that on the sidewalk. It also moved everything back, which means I can move my road back and I'll have a little bit more scenery between the road and the track. The next thing you're going to do with this is we're going to go ahead and enhance the grooves for the sidewalk. And I'm just going to take my knife and my short straight edge and I'm just going to scribe them just the way they are and try and make them as straight as possible. They are at 10-foot intervals. I think that's a good size for concrete. So anyhow, we'll go ahead and start with this. And the first thing we'll do is we're going to make these lines right here. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's just a matter of just grooving them out. And then after we finish the grooving, we'll go ahead and give this a paint job and we'll see what this new gray that I found. I actually saw somebody on YouTube using this gray and it looked like a really good color. And so I said, yep, I'm going to get that. Then I went to my local hardware store, which was a True Value, not Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. Just because it's closer and it would be less crowded, so I didn't have to worry about the showstopper stuff that's been going around. Try and keep them straight. I'm just eyeballing this basically, and I'm giving it like 2 or 3 passes, just so when I paint it, you'll be able to see those. And then after that, we'll actually put some cracks in the sidewalk. All right, we're going to continue this line down here as a corner. And then this first one won't be 10 feet, only because I have to make up the difference. So, with all that being said, I will go ahead and finish this and bring you back when that's done, and then I'll give it a paint job and then bring you back. All right, so stay tuned, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, the first thing I want to tell you is that I know that the video and audio are not synced up, and I've been trying to find a way to do that, and I just having a problem finding it. I know it's in the settings somewhere, I just have not found it yet. Anyhow, now that I have all of this grooved out, I'm going to take this 320 grit, you can see right there, and we're just going to give this a light sanding, just to knock down any ridges that you got here, and also to scuff it up a bit because concrete is not really smooth. This, by the way, I didn't mention it earlier, is primed with Rust-Oleum primer. It's supposed to be a light gray, but it doesn't look like a light gray to me. Anyway, I'm just going to take this and just kind of rub over it, just like that. You can feel the ridges when they go away, and we'll go in the opposite direction too. And that's going to clean it up real nice. And so this here is ready for paint. So I'm going to take this out to my garage and I'm going to give it a squirt, and I'll show you the paint that I'm using, and we will continue on with this video. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at now are the 3 sidewalks that I'll be using in the Wickenburg area. They are all painted and all the lines are grooved out and everything. On these 2 here, I need to do this line right here, which is no big deal. And also I might put a line right along the edge to kind of designate a curve per se. Anyhow, what I painted these with is this Rust-Oleum product. And if you can see it, right there where my finger is, it's called Perfect Gray. And I saw somebody do a video the other day, and they used this also. And I thought, well, you know what? I've always been looking for a light gray. Finally found one. Anyhow, we're going to go put these on the layout, and we're going to take the equipment out there, the camera and so on and so forth, and let's see what's going on. We'll put these in place, and I'll put the buildings on them to see how it's all going to look. Anyhow, with all that being said, stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, just want to show you how these new buildings look along with the modified sidewalks. As you can see, I've gained a whole bunch of room right here. There's going to be more scenic stuff going on in there. Then we have a little road right there, and then our next cluster of buildings right here. And then one more cluster of buildings right there. And these will all get painted to specific colors that they are in real life. Like I said, there's going to be just a bunch of scenery that's going to go on in there, and so on and so forth. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the scenery in there. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, before we can start doing any scenery in this area, I want to mark off my roads. I don't want to get any scenery under where the roads are going to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little Sharpie pen, Sharpie tool right here. Oops, sorry about that. Alright, I think that'll work. And we're just going to go ahead and mark off these roads, and then after I get them marked off, I'm going to put masking tape on them. So we're going to go here, and then this is just so I can put some tape there, and no scenic stuff will get under the roads. I want the roads to lay flat and be just less cleanup is what I'm looking at basically. All right. And this is the last one right here. If you recall, I actually did this when I did the original roads also. Alright, so now I will take the roads out and I will put masking tape on the inside of those lines, and then we'll be good to go. So stay tuned, let me get ready for that, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, you see I have everything all taped off right now. So then the next step is going to be putting some glue, and this is like a 50-50 mixture. And again, this is the way I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean this is the way you guys have to do it. Whatever makes you, whatever is comfortable for you is what you should use. And I say that all the time. So just put a bead down there, and then we're going to take this brush. It's got a little bit of water on it, and we're just going to go ahead and spread this out. I'm probably going to have to put more glue. I always start light and always add. You can always add, but you can't take away. Alright, and we'll add a little bit more. And this is like just the first application of glue. When I start doing the other ground cover, I will be adding more glue. So this is just basically to hold it in place while I do this. Anyhow, the next step is going to be to get my homemade dirt, and we'll commence to put some scenery down. Again, I'm using my spoon technique, which works well for me. Again, it doesn't have to be the way you guys do it. Once we get the scenery down, we can start doing the ballast on the track, which will probably be the next part of this video, is to start adding the ballast on the two tracks that run down the length of Wickenburg. Alright. And like I told you, there's hardly any grass, green grass here. Lots of weeds and cactus and stuff, so that's what I'm trying to simulate when I do my scenery. Now if I did this right, when I put the rows back in there, it should butt up right against the scenery stuff. Anyhow, you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm not going to show you the whole 9 yards. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I'll bring you back when it's done. So stay tuned. I'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got all the primary ground cover down. I'm going to let this dry for a couple hours, and I'm going to come back and start doing some other scenery, which will be some of the static grass and so on and so forth. Once I get the scenery, all the colors down here, I can take this tape off and start doing the ballast. Anyhow, with all that being said, stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, just to give you an idea of what's going on with this video, with problems I've been having, I forgot to turn on the microphone. Oh no! So I am doing a voiceover. Anyhow, as you can see, the scenery work is pretty much done. I just need to glue it down now. It's some dark underbrush, some light underbrush, some rocks in there, some of the little stubby thingies there, and whatever they're called. I forgot what the hell. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, those guys right there. Anyhow, we're going to continue on the road, down the road here, and you can see that I got some rocks installed in there and all kinds of stuff, and eventually I'm going to put some more cactus and more trees, some palm trees of course, and some other kind of stuff. And I'm also going to dress up the sidewalks on the other side of the road there, because the prototype does have some trees growing off the sidewalk or through the sidewalk, whatever. Well, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. I wish it could have been longer, the full length that I wanted it to be, but I've had too many problems with it. So I will try and catch up with it next time. But anyhow, as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 and the Cuz out for now.